Week 42.
42. The answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Yes, so we're at that week.
Mm-hmm. Did we get all the answers to the life, the universe, and everything this week?
I think so.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Liz just continues to be mad and yelling at everyone for trying to help, and she doesn't need help.
Right.
Vicky asks what's going on, and she's mad about that. And then Vicky chats with Burke and tells him, he kind of convinces her to tell him what happened with Carolyn and Willie. So he comes to the house and he just tells Liz, like, I want to help you. And she's just like, I don't need your help. And
she's like begging him. And, or he's begging her to let him help her, and she won't let him help her. But then afterwards, when she like puts her foot down, no, I don't need any help. Then she thanks him for offering to help. It's
almost seems like I do need help, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah,
so thank you for
totally
offering. And then Willie hits on Vicky again, and so Burke takes him down. Not completely. He just like pushes him against the wall and warns him to leave Vicky alone.
Throws him up against not the wall, the clock.
Was it the clock or the wall? We said the clock. Oh yeah, the side of the clock. Yeah.
Was it? I thought it was a clock. Maybe it was the wall. Anyway, yeah, grabs him by the scruff.
Yep.
Throws him up there.
And we were cheering. It was exciting.
It was exciting.
Oh, did we mention there was a new Willie?
Yeah, we have a new Willie.
It's a new Willie. So
he's not as creepy as the old Willie.
I think he's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, but not quite. There's just something not quite as creepy about him. So
not as Kevin Spacey-ish.
Yes. So the next episode takes place almost entirely at the Blue Whale.
Right.
And
first time we've had that. Have we ever had an episode that didn't have any Collinwood?
I don't know.
I don't know if we did.
But Maggie and Joe and Sam are there, and Jason's there, and Burke's there. So Jason wants to chat with Burke to say that Willie's there too. That Willie really he deserves another chance, and Burke's like, no. Wasn't
Willie there first with Sam, and he was like buddy with Sam, and they were kind of being best friends, and then when Maggie and...
I think it was during, but...
Was it during?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were like, he's buying him a drink, and they were talking, and then all of a sudden, I forget what happened. Maggie came over, and maybe was trying to get her dad away, and he was like, oh, I know you were talking about me, and he was like bad-mouthing Maggie, so Sam got upset, and Joe was upset, and Burke came over and started to fight him, and Willie pulled out a knife, and Burke took him down and punched him right down to the ground. And for a minute, I thought he was dead. Like, he wasn't moving. And they were like... So I was like, oh, did he kill him? He's going to go to jail again?
Yeah. Burke goes back to prison.
At least he had
5 episodes after he got... His whole manslaughter thing was settled, and he just goes back to prison for murder.
Yep.
But no, he's not dead.
So Jason takes him outside somewhere. I don't know if they were behind or wherever.
Like an alley or outside the front of the Blue Whale, maybe.
And convinces him, like, you've made a mess of this. If you want any money out of this, you need to leave now. And you can come back for your revenge later, because Willie was like, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, he's going to kill Burke.
And so he'll come back for his revenge later. So when Jason comes the next day into the drawing room and Liz is there, Liz is like, he needs to go. And Jason said, yep, he does. He'll go. But... So Liz is shocked that you're agreeing he's leaving? No. But he needs $1,000. And she like completely refuses. I'm not going to let you bully me or whatever. And
a bribe.
Yeah. So, but then he talks her down to $500. And so she goes to get it. And Willie comes in and he finds, she was wearing a brooch that the clasp was broken.
It's like a diamond emerald brooch that the clasp broke. So she dropped it on the ground, put it on the coffee table. Or no. He picked it up and
Someone put it
back to her, and then ended up being on the coffee table.
Yeah, and Willie sees it there, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing $500. I want $1,000." But then he sees the brooch.
He's like, "Oh yeah, 500's fine." Yeah, and then he takes it and Well, he took it after he waited till he left, and then he stuck it in his pocket.
But Liz went to look for it and noticed right away that it was missing, and told Jason that she knew that it was Willie, and so he goes to Willie, and Willie won't give it up at first, but then finally admits yes. He tells him that Liz is going to call the police. And so he finally admits and gives it back to him. And it's so weird. But he's like, sometimes just by touching it, how beautiful it is.
Like, can I just look at it one more time? Can I just touch it? And
he's so weird.
You don't have to look at it. You just have your eyes closed. You can just feel how beautiful it is, so pretty.
So Jason tries
shiny things.
Jason tries to trick Liz by putting it under the table, and she's like, no, I know it wasn't there.
I know you just put it there.
Yeah.
I looked there. David looked there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bright, shiny
Yeah,
diamond.
like you would notice if it was
jewelry. This huge.
He should have put it somewhere else, just random.
Should have kicked it under the couch or something.
Exactly, somewhere they maybe didn't look.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, she doesn't believe it, and he convinces her not to call the police again.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Oh, and he tells Willie not to. Jason tells Willie, like, don't steal something that they're going to notice. Like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes into play a little bit later. So David.
Yes.
David is with Willie in the study.
Drawing room. Originally, they were in the drawing. David was on the couch.
Oh, yeah. Scene? Yeah, he takes him to go tell him about the family, and so he tells him stories about this.
He shows him all the books and
person
and the
who
relatives and...
had all this. The pirate was in love with her, whatever the story goes, and gave her all these treasures, and she had them buried with her. So he's like, ooh, and kind of interested in that, and so then he goes to the painting again, and he hears the heartbeat again, which sounded like a basketball this time. Yeah,
they had a terrible sound effect that week, or that episode.
And he sees the eyes glowing, and then Jason comes in, and he's like, do you hear the harp? Do you hear that sound? And nope, no one hears it but him. And
no, to be fair, he wasn't in the room. But
true.
So Jason doesn't hear the heartbeat, and then
Willie
brings Willie into the drawing room and tells him, Liz wants you out immediately. She's going to get your $500.
He's like, I want to stay for a few more days. I have something to take this time that no one will notice. So obviously the jewels.
Right. So he's going to go grave robbing apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing all his research and reading up on them and the family members in the drawing room, and who comes in?
Johnson, she's always saying she minds her own business and she doesn't get into anyone else's things. She's the worst at telling things to the worst people at the worst times.
She does, literally, every single time. Like, the one person, the one thing that you should not tell, this one person, she's guaranteed going to tell them that person.
So he convinces her to tell. He's kind of sneaky.
Why is she
about
still
it.
working there?
She was
there. Yeah, but she was hired. I mean, I guess she does still need the job.
Yeah.
But she was supposed to be spying for Burke. Mm-hmm. But Burke doesn't need anyone spying anymore because he's just over it.
Well, she just works there now.
So she just works there. It's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. Is Burke paying her? Was he paying her before? Is he still paying her?
I think so.
Oh,
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know these things. I didn't ask her.
You're supposed to know all the things.
Anyway, so he convinces her to tell him where the cemetery is. So he goes, and the friendly caretaker finds him and warns him not to go to that tomb where Naomi is with her family.
Because there's evil.
Don't go there at night. Yeah, there's evil there, and it'll be.
So apparently, it was because she was buried there with her husband and children, and they requested that it be sealed up when they died. So no one's been in there since they were buried.
Which was interesting to Willie. No one's been there. Oh, that treasure's still there. And then Jason goes into the study where Willie was, and Johnson's just complaining that he didn't put all the books away, and so he gets information out of her about what he was looking at, the family history and listening to David's stories. Nobody listens to David's stories. I don't know why he'd be. Jason's like, Willie's never read a book since I've known him.
Yeah, so that's a little suspicious.
Yeah. Anyway, so then Willie kind of doubles back around once the caretaker's gone and goes to the tomb and tries to get the door open, but then the caretaker had followed him because he saw his light and warns him again to leave, and Willie...
Keeps bugging him about it.
Willie hears the heartbeat again.
So Willie he was pretending he was of Collins' family, just a distant relative who... He's just in town for the day and he's leaving tomorrow, so he just wanted to look at it. And
but he hears the heartbeat again and then asks the caretaker if he hears it. Nope, I only hear the rustling of the leaves. And so anyway, Willie leaves and the caretaker makes sure the door's locked, and then we hear
the caretaker, I'd be
the heartbeat
a little
again.
Freaked out.
Freaked out about?
Well, because previously there was the smell of jasmine where everyone could smell jasmine, or certain people could smell jasmine, and he's like, I don't smell anything. And then they were like, when he was under Laura's spell, he like missed all this time. Then they came back, and then they were lying. He thought they were lying to them about having been gone for hours. like 3 hours or whatever it was, and
Mhm.
now someone's saying he's hearing heartbeats. He's like, why is everyone trying to make me crazy?
Maybe he just thinks that he's old and he just.
But that's what I would be. That's what I'd be. I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I experience what the other people are experiencing in the
Maybe it's
world?
normal for him because he doesn't see people often, so maybe he doesn't think anything of it.
But it doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to be getting suspicious about it yet.
No.
He just seems to just be like, all these people are wrong.
Any predictions?
Predictions? He's gonna break in, obviously. I think that's kind of given.
But is there going to be anything in there? Is it going to be jewels? Is it going to be unleashing evil?
Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbeat is in there. Does that mean Barnabas is in there?
They didn't say his name, I don't think.
No.
So it would be weird if he was in there, unless he was one of their children. I guess if they were old, and I don't know.
It did say she lived a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
who knows?
Could be. What do you think is going to happen with how much more do we have till we actually get to see Barnabas?
I don't know.
At this point.
I don't know. 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye.